All right, thank you everyone for joining us today for our webinar on how to get ready for seminar with a virtual assistant. We are so excited to have you all with us today. Now at this point you should be able to hear me clearly and you should be able to see our screen. If you have any questions or technical difficulties, you're welcome to let me know using the questions box on your control panel. It will look like this. And you'll also utilize this questions box at the very end of the webinar for our interactive Q&A. At this time, if you'd like to go ahead and use it to let me know if you've ever been with UnitWise before or if you're currently using UnitWise. And while you guys get those comments in, I'm just going to take a moment to give everybody a little bit of background in case we have some viewers that aren't quite as familiar with UnitWise. My name is Christina. I am one of the heroes here at UnitWise, and UnitWise actually launched in 2009. It was created by a director to help other directors succeed in business management, and through customer feedback, we have been able to help thousands of directors and consultants around the world grow their businesses. And it looks like we do have some comments, so thank you everybody who let us know. We always like to know who we have on the webinar. And today's webinar is actually going to begin with a quote from Mary Kay Ash. She said, "People are definitely a company's greatest asset. It doesn't make any difference whether the product is cars or cosmetics. A company is only as good as the people it keeps." And that is never displayed more clearly than at seminar. With everyone gathering together to recognize accomplishments and share ideas, there is no doubt it will be an amazing experience. But not only does this quote apply to you and all of the wonderful women going to seminar, it also applies to your assistants. Many of you have fantastic assistants who help you keep track of the sometimes hectic details of your business. And today I'm going to show an amazing tool to help your assistant handle things while you're away at seminar, allowing you to confidently focus on it while you're there and enjoy yourself. That tool is the virtual assistant. By setting up your assistant as a virtual assistant, she'll be able to sign into your UnitWise account with her own login information and manage only the sections that you give her access to. We're going to look at selecting your virtual assistant, providing them with access, how the managing of the account will work, and the support availability. Now, for any of you who aren't as familiar with UnitWise, this is the dashboard of our Director Complete plan. It does come with all of the features, and this is just the default page that you're brought to when you sign in. So to begin with, we're going to need to go to Settings, and Settings is the circle in the top right corner. You see, if you hover your cursor over it, it will show your name and your email address. And you can see ours does have an image uploaded, but if you haven't uploaded an image, it will look like a gray headshot. And we're going to go ahead and click Settings, and you'll see quite a few options are displayed, including Virtual Assistants. Here, you'll see a full list of VAs set up for your account. And as you can see, you can absolutely have more than one. So if you have someone who manages your website, but someone else who handles your invoices, sales receipts, or orders, they can each have their own login credentials and specific access to your account. For example, if we click on Elena, she has access to customers and accounts and social media, but that's it. Whereas if we were to click on Prasad, he has access to customers, accounts, and activities, while Christina has access to reports and inventory, but that's it. So now that you have a good understanding of how the virtual assistant works, we're going to take a look at how to set one up. All we'll need to do from here is click Add Virtual Assistant and choose to add our own virtual assistant. To begin, enter your virtual assistant email. Enter their name and enter their phone number. Finally, you'll want to choose the modules of the account that this assistant will have access to. Now, it is important to note that when selecting those modules for the VA, you want to make sure that you take into consideration all of the responsibilities that they're going to have. For example, if we wanted Christina to be able to manage the inventory, we could give her access to inventory by simply checking the box. But we may also want to give her access to the report section so that she can utilize the inventory reports, such as shopping list, snapshot of quantity on hand, or even the inventory audit trail, because those can be crucial to managing the inventory correctly. So we'll just choose reports, and once you have all of your modules selected, simply choose Assign Virtual Assistant. This person will then get an automatic email informing them that they have been assigned as a virtual assistant, and this email will also include their login credentials. So you may be wondering what it looks like when your VA signs in, especially if they don't have access to all of the features. So when your VA is ready to sign in, all they'll do is go to UnitWise.com, just like you would, and choose Sign In. Excuse me. There we go. Sign in. So here you can see we have our member sign in, but below it we also have our virtual assistant sign in. And this is actually where your virtual assistant would enter their login credentials. So we'll go ahead and sign into the VA account just so you can get an idea of what that looks like. So once your VA has signed in, they will see a list of all of the accounts that they are a virtual assistant for. And here you can see we are just the virtual assistant for the one account, but we have the option to manage it. So to open up that account, we'll just click Manage. And at first glance, this does look very similar to the account that we were just on as the user, but you can see as a virtual assistant, I only have access to the sections that I was granted. So we can see we do have access to the reports. We also have access to the inventory sections, but nothing more, and that does include the account information and preferences. So all of your information is safe. It has not been added to the VA account, as you can see. And I'm sure that while excited, some of you may be a little bit nervous to leave your business for so many days, but rest assured your virtual assistants will be provided with the same level of customer service available to you. Meaning if they have any questions or need any assistance, they can reach out to us. We are in the office Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and we will be happy to help them by phone or chat, and they are more than welcome to email us 24/7. So they will have help with anything from a quick question to a full training session. And at this point, we will go ahead and move into our Q&A that we spoke about a little bit at the beginning. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and type those in that questions box. Or if you prefer to have your question actually asked over the webinar, you can go ahead and raise your hand on the same control panel, and I can unmute you so that you can ask me your question. So we'll just wait a second while those come in. And it looks like we have one from Sarah. She would like to know what happens if she has a virtual assistant set up and then that virtual assistant leaves. Will they still have access to her account, and how does that work? And that's a really good question. We are actually going to go back over into our UnitWise account, and I'll show you exactly how you can handle that. So we'll go back to settings, virtual assistants, and let's say Christina is leaving, she's no longer your virtual assistant. You would just click on Manage Modules and choose to delete this virtual assistant. Then they will no longer have access to your account. Now it does look like thank you Sarah for your question, it does look like we have another one. Anna would like to know what information the VA uses to sign in, and all they need is their email address and then their temporary password. So when you give them access, they receive an automatic email, and it has their email address that you've entered, as well as a temporary password that they can change once they've signed in. They would just go to My Account in the VA, and it'll allow them to change their password. And it looks like we have one more. So when my VA signs in from her computer and makes changes to my account, do they show on my computer when I sign in? Yes, since it's a cloud-based software, your VA can sign in from her computer at home and make any changes, manage anything that you'd like her to. And once you go to sign in later, those changes will be reflected in your account, since again, it is a cloud-based software. All right, it looks like things are slowing down. Actually, I believe when you sign in as a virtual assistant to change your password, it is going to say virtual assistants here, but it is very easy to go in and change that temporary password. It does look like those questions are slowing down. So if anybody comes up with any more, feel free to contact us by going to unitwise.com. You can email us at heroes@unitwise.com, and be sure to follow us at UnitWise on all of our social media platforms so that you never miss out on any of the upcoming learning opportunities and events that we'll have. Thank you all so much for joining me today.